Hi, I'm Rashida Dow, and I am so excited to be here on behalf of ExodUS Summit today with my special guest, Lauren Lavelle, because we're going to talk about all things money, all things France, all things creating your life on your terms here today. Welcome, Lauren.
Thank you so much for having me, Rashida. I'm so excited.
Thank you for being here. If you are used to the ExodUS Summit team, you know we're one down. Stephanie is not feeling well today, so I am taking over. I'm taking the mic and I'm running with it. ExodUS Summit, if you don't know, is an annual event that helps Black women move abroad or take career breaks. And that's why we're talking to Lauren today, because Lauren has moved to France.
We did it. We did it.
We did it, Joe. All right. Where in France are you, Lauren? Tell the people.
I am in Nice, France. So that is the south of France, but not the southeast of France. Okay. It's like kind of where we start talking about the south of France.
Okay. I'm hearing more and more Black women say south of France and specifically Nice is like the place to be. How are you feeling about
Let me tell you, It is. It's a place. It's a place. It has an international airport. So I think that that's a huge appeal. If you are interested in Italy, you can get there on a train. I say that because, sometimes Italy is a little touch and go for me. But but if you're interested, I've taken a train on Friday and been like, oh, I'm going to go to Italy for a market, and just come home with some goods from the market because that's what you do here. But it's really, really, really super easy to get a lot of places from Nice, which I think is what makes it very popular.
That's nice. Where in the US did you live before you moved?
I am originally from Southern California, and then I spent over a decade in Philadelphia.
Okay.
And I mean, born and raised in LA, but like became an adult in Philadelphia, and I love the city of Philadelphia. I will tell you that.
Well, I was gonna say it's like a Southern Californian, like you're not taking the train nowhere. But Philly,
No.
you can get on the train and go to DC, go to New York.
Yeah,
But
totally. And Philly had that easy access
yes.
similarly, but yeah, the weather is closer to where I was born and raised.
Okay, yeah. So you have nice weather in Nice.
We do. We do.
Okay. All right. So what we wanted you to talk about today with all our friends watching, hi, is about how you were able to fund your move
Mhm.
and how your move was kind of, you were able to actually kind of build it around your business. So tell the people what you do.
Yes, I am a full-time certified personal trainer and group fitness instructor, and I do that all from online for my own personal platform, which is Level Up Fitness. I know my last name is Lavelle, and you pronounced it correctly, but I pronounce it incorrectly for my business just for fun. Um, and I've been doing that for since March of 2020. I don't know, there was like a reason for me to go online, so I went online, and it has been thriving ever since. And that allowed me to have location freedom because anywhere I have an internet connection, I can do that.
Okay. So you funded your move
Mm-hmm.
to France with this business that you run.
100%. Yeah, this business has been funding my entire existence for the past 5 years. It allowed us to buy a house. It allowed us to replace a car that got totaled unexpectedly, obviously. Don't go into it expecting that. And then, yes, once it was time to move, it made it very easy to do that transition because it was really easy to prove that I had a viable business. And also, like I said, I can do it from anywhere.
How hard? Okay. So like a lot of times people talk I know. I'm going there real quick. Let's talk about starting business. And either it feels like, well, she's running a business that like, allowed her to like pay off, like buy a house. So like, I'm not going to be doing that on like day one.
No.
Right. So people can see kind of like the gap between where you are and maybe where they're starting. But what was the start of the business like for you?
Yeah, it's such a wild story. Pre the dawn of time, when I was originally working in my career field, I worked for FEMA,
Mhm.
and I worked in disaster management. And In March of 2020, when things were rumbling about like, oh, we're going to shut down for 2 weeks, I assured everyone that I knew that it would be much longer than 2 weeks and it would be much worse than anything they were ever going to tell you. At that time, I was no longer working for FEMA. I was a nanny. And I was like, y'all, this isn't going to be fun. I was a nanny and teaching fitness. I'm like, I'm not going into my nanny job. I'm canceling all my in-person fitness classes. Like, you got to listen to me. And people are like, she's crazy, which, you know, okay. Yes, I'll take it. But I ended up building a mini, like just a landing page platform in 48 hours and then started teaching classes online when everything shut down. So I call myself an accidental business owner, and the want and desire was there for people to connect and move. And I keep telling people, I'm just going to do this while people want to do it. Like, if you want to do it, I want to do it. I flew by the seat of my pants for, I can't even tell you how long. I didn't spend any of the money that I made from this business, even though it was my primary income, because I was so afraid of like taxes. I had nothing. I mean, I just started a business. It was a global pandemic. It like there were people rising up in the streets. Like, I was completely dissociated for a lot of it. And then I like opened my eyes. I'm like, oh, I own a home now. Like, it went very quickly, but a lot of the strategies for the business and for money and everything, the scaffolding was already there because we had already paid off all of our student loan debt. I'm a money person before this. So the structure, having the structure, even if the business made $4 or it made 400 or 4,000, the structure in my mind was there, the scaffolding on how to prioritize. So even if you're just starting out and you're overwhelmed, I think having those goals and having some kind of structure, even if it feels like made up, like even if the structure feels made up and the structure can evolve, I think that helped me a lot, where I was just like, I know I'm going to have to pay taxes on this. So I'm going to not spend every dime I make in this business. Mm-hmm. And that just rolled and evolved. And like I said, I didn't have help for a while. Definitely don't love the idea of like bootstrapping, but that's what it felt like, because there was no help to be had. I was like locked in a house teaching classes.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people think about, when they think about businesses, they think about, they get turned off or overwhelmed by the hard parts first, right? The like, I can't run a business because I don't have, $20,000 saved or $50,000 saved, or I got to get the logo, or I got to do this. And you said, I want to do this, and 48 hours later, you were doing it, right?
Rashida, I didn't have a laptop. I was using my partner's school district issued laptop to teach these classes. He was supposed to be on there teaching them kids. And I said, move out of the way. We're in a 1-bedroom apartment. I had nothing. Nothing. So I really do think that starting is worth more than $50,000. Starting is worth $100,000 of investment. Just being able to be like, I did something. Like, was it good? No, it's embarrassing. Every day I'm embarrassed.
But taking the step and like doing the work before you kind of like commit everything to it, because you might spend $10,000 on a logo and then realize, I really want to do this business.
Correct.
Whereas if you did the business first, you would earn the money to get the logo done, right? While you're figuring out, you might have people to be like, oh, hey, you use my service. Which logo do you like the best? People love that. Your clients will love answering the questions. But one of the things that I think is really interesting about your story is you built this business, and not only did you use the money from the business for your move, but the business is actually what allowed you to move, right? Correct. Yes. Let's talk about that. Yes. So France has not had a digital nomad visa. And I don't feel like I'm speaking out of term at all, because there's always something going on in French bureaucracy. So if you've had to do this, they're like,
maybe, like that's how they do their approvals and bureaucracy here. But they had a long-term visitor visa, which a lot of people who are retired or just visiting use. During or after like the work from home era began, they started being like, if you're not going to make any money in France, you can come here on this long term visitor stay and work your remote job, and we're just going to be like this. Like some people got away with that gray area. I was not interested in operating in a gray area when I'm trying to get out of the United States. Okay, I was like,
enough gray already, right? Like let's
right,
get
exactly. Like there's too many factors here. So I chose to apply for something under the umbrella of long stay visitor visa, which is the Profession Liberale Entrepreneur visa. And through that visa, I said, hey, I have a business. You don't even have to have a business, by the way, but I have a we'll get to it. I have a business. Here's my business plan. Here's how my business could integrate into France. Ding. And then they were like, yeah, that seems viable. And they let me in on my existing business. My partner had a business in the United States that wasn't necessarily what he was going to be doing here. So he wrote a new business plan that said, hey, this is a small section of my current business that I'm going to expand on in France. Here's how it can be viable in France. And they approved that without the proof of that concept necessarily. So,
so it wasn't like your business needs to be pulling in like $100,000.
No. So your business has to look viable up until the SMIC, which is the minimum income in France. And currently that is, I'm going to go over and say it's 25,000 USD. Okay. But I think it's around 21 or 22,000 euros. So somewhere in between there. But we'll just say your business should earn $25,000 a year.
And do you have to have already earned the money, or do you have to just have like a plan to earn the money?
You have to have a 3-year financial outlook on how you are going to earn that money.
Okay.
And since we've done it, which again, I really think I'm one of the luckiest people on earth. And I carry that with me. I carry my little luck sparkle with me. We applied and the visa office was VLS. It switched to TLS the next month, like just a new visa office. We applied and you didn't need to go through like a more rigorous, like a longer business approval. Now you need a bit longer to have like a bank look at your financial plans and be like, this is viable. But if you're doing your due diligence, if you're doing your market research, if you know you have a viable product, it's still, I still feel like a $25,000 a year business is very attainable and very possible to prove.
Okay. Now, I was under the impression for some reason, probably watched a TikTok, even though I'm not on TikTok, probably saw something that I thought if you had the Professional Liberale visa, I don't French, I'm so sorry. So I know someone's going to be like, she butchered that. Yes, I did. Anyway, I thought that if you had that visa, your clients had to be kind of French centered, but you teach online, anybody, right?
Correct. And yeah, no, you can have international clients for that. I think it's more about showing integration into France. So like I have plans of teaching pop-up classes when it's not a billion degrees outside. So that's like a way I can integrate. Another part of my business being like weight neutral is to counteract a lot of the like inherent and built-in fat phobia specifically in France, but I mean, it's everywhere. But like France has a history of it, right? Like, oh, everyone here is so thin. No, they're not. No, they're not. Not everyone here is thin. It's the people you're giving visibility to. So part of that is like I provide a space that is size inclusive and weight neutral for people who might not feel welcomed in spaces, in fitness spaces in general, because of that attitude of like not being very visible in France. Okay, like I'm going to use that to my advantage. Like, yeah, I provide a space where people can access health and movement without feeling judged. And so that was part of my little threads of integration, market research, and then Yeah, my partner's job is all in person, so he's fine.
Okay, that's actually pretty cool. I definitely thought that it needed to be like French centered. So you don't need to be making the money. The money goal for the year is not that high, right? And
Not
it
that
doesn't
high.
have to be French centered. It just has to have some like French spokes, we'll say, somewhere.
Yeah, how are you going to improve France is the thing you have to constantly be thinking. Why would France want your business to be there? What benefit do they get? You're providing them a benefit, right? You're not just coming here to come here. Then anybody could get in. They want to know what they're getting out of this by extending this to you, particularly because, and that's why some of the rules have changed. Sometimes it was easier for people to get this than it is for people to like start a French business, you know? Like
Mhm.
there were a few more hurdles for that. So I think it's really important to say, how are you going to serve this country that you're moving to? Regardless of how long you intend on staying, you're approaching this like you're staying for a while. You're approaching this like you want to run French business.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Why did you choose France? Why did you choose Nice?
I chose France because I think I've always been a Francophile, for better or worse. My first experience in France, I went to Paris when I was 16 years old, and I was like, um, for a lot of reasons, I was like, oh, I don't know if this is the place. And then we came to Nice and like Monaco and the south of France, and I was like, oh, like this is a place too. And so my partner and I took a trip. We went to Madrid, Barcelona, Nice, and then a couple of places in Italy. And the place that both of us were like felt super regulated was in the south of France. And then I came back last year and stayed 3 weeks. I did a little time in Italy. I always do a little time in Italy. I can't get away.
But you gotta try it and see if it's different from last time. It's probably not. But you gotta give it a go.
My hairdresser teaches classes there. She's an international like hair teacher, so I go there to get my hair done, and then I'm like, I gotta go. Um, it's just my personal charge with that. So why you're saying why do we pick this part of France? Because it felt really good. It
Okay.
felt good here. I felt good here. I felt the right amount of challenged and comfortable here. Like so I felt like I could make something, and because of the location, because it's easily accessible with the international airport, with all the trains and everything, I was like, well, I can have a chance to see more places as well.
Mhm. Good. Okay. So you're doing anything, you're there, your partner's there. How are you feeling about how are you feeling about creating community and about integrating
Yeah.
into the local? We're here to interrupt your regularly scheduled video to give you a little bit of information about Exodus Summit 2025. Exodus Summit 2025, More Move Abroad Money, is happening online October 10th through 13th. And we want to make sure that you know what's happening so that you can get your ticket. If you've made it this far in the video, you're interested in making progress towards your own move abroad. So let's go ahead and do that. If you get your ticket to Exodus Summit 2025, what will happen? You'll learn from speakers, from Black women, exactly how to start making money in the way that they make money so that you can fund your new life, so that you can leave the United States or wherever you live today and move abroad with the money you need to support yourself. Exodus Summit is going to be a great opportunity for you to learn from experts, to be in community with other Black women who want the same thing you want, and to make really tangible changes to your life and your trajectory. You're going to learn trading from Terry Ijeoma. You're going to learn memberships and community from Arlen Hamilton. You're going to learn expat taxes from Makara Santiago. Yeah. You're going to learn how to create premium courses from Dr. Sonia Murray. You're going to learn so much from so many Black women who are coming solely to pour into you. And one of those Black women is our keynote speaker, Rachel Rogers. Yes. Rachel Rogers is the author of We Should All Be Millionaires. She's the founder of Hello 7. She's made it her business to make sure that Black women, that Black people, that marginalized people make money. And we're super excited about all of the speakers who are coming. And we're super excited that you'll be there, won't you? I think they will. We'd love to see you. You can get your tickets at ExodUSSummit.com. We do this every year because it makes a difference in the lives of Black women, and we want to make a difference in your life too. So come on down.
Okay, back to the video.
I think France has a reputation earned, and I think hyperbolically, like particularly in the United States, I think that there's definitely a poop-colored glasses over France, at least in my experience, where people are just like, oh, the French. And that has not been my experience. I know that has been other people's experience. That has not been my experience at all. Sometimes I'm like, I kind of want to keep telling people that because I'm like, don't come here. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, Portugal. Oh my gosh, like I want to move to somewhere in Spain or somewhere. I'm going to buy an old house in Italy. I was like, I will meet you there, babies, but I am where you don't want to come.
Okay.
But I just told you, I'm here by way of Philadelphia, another city where people don't want to go, you know? So
You're
like,
not known for like charm.
no, exactly. So I'm like, oh, I kind of like this. I like this. Integration has been interesting. My French level is, I like to tell people that I just black out and start speaking French because it's a necessity. Like I can't, like what can I do? You're telling me you don't speak English. Like you can hear that I'm a little bit sick. I went to the pharmacy. On top of the language barrier, I was also wearing a mask. And I always start with bonjour, of course. And vous parlez anglais? And she was like, oh no. And I was like, okay, I guess we're just gonna do it in French. I think that they really truly appreciate it and they love it and they're extremely tickled when I do it. Like they're just like, oh, she's gonna fight through this with her bad French. And in my experience in the South, they're much more accepting of the bad French. They're like, you're doing amazing, sweetie.
Even when you're not.
Right. They're like, I actually had an older woman tell me, you're not speaking French the way that I would, but I can completely understand you. Because she didn't speak any English. She told me that in French. Like when I'm recounting these stories, no one is ever speaking English to me. They're speaking French to me. Yes. So integration-wise, I think it's really a lot about your attitude. I think if you come to a place thinking that they're going to be rude and they don't like this and they don't like that, and you have all these preconceived ideas of what it's going to be, you might come with a little chip on your shoulder and you might take an interaction that feels very normal and it might feel like you've been hit a little bit. And I understand that from my own experiences in other places. But I think if you come to France and they're like, they don't really like it when we don't speak French, they insist that we say bonjour, and you know, there are rules that I don't know and I'm just going to learn them as I go. It's been great. It's been wonderful. Even my partner who speaks significantly less French than me doesn't have an issue. Yeah. So as far as integrating with the French, as far as integrating with other travelers and immigrants, we've had, again, a great time. We have a great group of folks that we go on hikes with and go to the beach with. There are so many groups. I send him out all the time. I'm just like, please leave my home. Yes, go and forage, socialization. Yeah. He's the extrovert of the two of us, so I'm like, please leave. So there's so many opportunities to both speak English, speak other languages with folks if you're working on another language, and really go back and forth and work on your French, work on your Franglish, work on those conversation skills. I felt extremely welcomed here, and I've had a really great integration process.
That's amazing. Okay, let's back up a second and talk about your journey to France.
Yeah.
So we talked about why you wanted it, but like, what was that process like? Of like, from the ruminations of an idea to like, let's talk through that.
Yes. Before I knew that the ExodUS Summit existed, you existed, but before I knew, I remember I was on a walk. I know the exact corner. We had a walking route. I know the exact corner we were on. And I looked at my partner and I said, I think that this country is going to try to kill me. And I will not let it. I will absolutely not let it. I will not let it kill my spirit, my creativity, and I will not let it kill my like physical body. I will not let this country run me into the ground. And he was just like, whoa, we're just on a casual walk. Why are you bringing this up? But that is where it started, where I started looking to like, what is there outside of this? What do I want to do? It's also worth mentioning we are child free and have no intention on having children. So other people around us are having kids, which I feel like sinks their roots a little bit deeper in community. It's not for everybody. Some people have a lot of like freedom with their children and all of that, but a lot of our friends were like really like plopping down roots. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that was just something I was like, what are we going to do for the next 20 years while these kids are small? And so that was also part of it. But then I went to my first Exodus Summit in 2023, and it really gave me more fuel, I think, to really be like, oh, yeah, like, I'm not alone in this idea. I'm not alone in even wanting this idea. I'm not alone in trying to get this off the ground. And then, there was an election. The Google Doc existed before said election, okay? The Google Doc existed with like, here's what I want, here's what I'm thinking, here's the timeline, here's what it looks like, here's all the visas that are available currently, blah, 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 blah. There was an election, I opened my eyes and I said, what happened? And my partner said, I don't really want to talk about it. And I said, okay, I'm going to pull up the Google Doc now.
Okay.
The Google Doc is getting pulled up. And so that was in November of 2024. Mm-hmm. We spent all of our Christmas break writing business plans. Ooh. We applied for our visa on February 28th. We got our approval on March 5th, and we left the United States on April 1st.
Did you say 7 days? Is my math off? Or did that approval take 7 days?
7 days, 5 business days.
I thought you were going to be like, and it took them 4 months to process my visa.
Nope. No. So then we got our visas and I was like, we have 26 days to clear our entire house, sell our car, say goodbye to our friends, and move to France. Oh yeah, we have 2 cats too.
Oh, yay for the cats. They're with you now?
Yeah, that was another part of the approval process that we had to get going, but yes.
Okay. Did you have, after you got the visa, did you have a certain amount of time by which you had to be in France, or was that 26 days just part of your planning process?
So when you submit for a visa, you have to show them proof of a flight and accommodations.
Before they even tell you can go?
Yes, baby.
I mean,
so there's a lot on the line.
I'm leaning into delusion, so I love it. Yes, France, we're doing this. This is the date I'll be here.
When are you going? Where are you staying? For like 3 months, they need to know where you're going to be staying because they don't want you to be destitute.
I kind of love that.
Yeah, and it could be a hotel. It's not that serious. It could be a hotel that you can cancel if you don't get your thing, or you could change, like it could be flexible. But they need to know that you're going to go. So we said, oh yeah, we're going to go on April 1st. And then they said, yeah, you are.
They said, well, actually, we'll see you there.
Yeah. So once we got it back, we were like, oh my gosh. And we just spent, again, 26 days emptying our entire house. Every single day there was furniture disappearing. There were people walking through our house. It was like an estate sale. Mm-hmm. And that actually, we sold a lot of stuff. It really helped even out the moving expenses. Like, we sold our car. Big chunk of money from that. That was very nice. And yeah, then we packed 8 bags total and left.
All right. 8 bags, like that sounds like a lot. But then I think that's 2 people, because I could do 8 bags by myself.
I could have done 8 bags by myself, but
the 2 people, you allowed him the courtesy of at least 1 bag, I'm sure.
He had, yes, he did. And I had to help pack one of them because I said, I feel like there's more space in here. I feel like you're not trying hard enough.
Yes, I get it. I feel you. That's such an amazing story. So your business funded the move, your business made the move possible, and France was like, welcome. I mean, the French
baby.
version of, I was going to say the French version of bienvenido, but yes.
Yeah, bienvenue.
Okay. That's amazing. So if you want to be like Lauren, who's attended 2 Exodus Summits, Exodus Summit this year is about move abroad money. We're going to make sure that you have a way to make the money you want or need to move abroad. And a lot of people think they need a remote job to move abroad. And Lauren's an example that you don't need it. You need to chase your dream, right?
You need an idea.
You need an idea. Fran said, write down some words on a piece of paper.
Yeah, yes. And that business plan was thick.
All right, right? Like be focused, write some words. Lauren did it. You can do it too.
Absolutely.
Like I said, our theme this year is more move abroad money. We're going to be talking to different people who have created businesses, who have ways for you to create a business, ideas, all the things you're going to need to make money that can support your move abroad. And we are so looking forward to having you there. Exodus Summit this year is October 10th through 13th, all online. You can get the info down below. I'm pretty sure it's ExodusSummit.com is all you need. Ignore that Exodus ASAP on the screen. I think the link you're going to need is ExodusSummit.com to get to the summit. And I am super excited about this year. More details coming out soon. More details. By the time you see this, all the details will be out. Tickets will be available. Lauren, you have been such a pleasure to have. Tell us more about your business and how people can reach you.
Yes. My business is Level Up Fitness. So my last name, Leavell Fitness. And you can find me anywhere online. You can find me on Instagram. I am on Instagram. You can find me on TikTok. I do have a YouTube channel of It's Lauren Lavelle. I also have a YouTube channel talking about our move. We're documenting a lot of the processes for our move. And that's Ambitions Abroad YouTube. So
I'll be in the description below. We'll put them all
yes,
down.
we'll put all that info because I'm really like, I would never get that if someone was telling me that. I would be like, good job, girl. But I'm completely online. I'm very online, and I'm really excited for this series because I feel like there are so many opportunities out there, and I know it can be done, not just by people who already had an existing business. I know it can be done.
Thank you so much for being with us. And I'm gonna listen. I feel like the south of France is calling me. And you said Monaco? Monaco needs to see me.
Listen, I keep telling all my friends, I will drop you off in Monaco. You cannot come back until you have someone's boat or yacht for me to go on. Like, please stop playing in my face. Like, you can't come stay with me and then act like this. You must come back with something.
Listen, I'm leaving here with something. I am.
Exactly. Like,
I am.
why are you going here?
So let's get our South of France, our Black Girls in the South of France thing going, please.
I will gladly help with that itinerary.
Okay. Thank you so much, Lauren. It was a pleasure having you. And
Thank
until next time, y'all. Bye.
Bye.